Hi, my name is Mike Bernard. I'm one of the certified financial planners and tax planners here at Korhorn Financial Group, also host of the Wise Money Show if you follow our content there. Coming to you with an important update about some of the tax law changes with the new stimulus bill, specifically reviewing the new law about taxation of unemployment. Lots of confusion, lots of questions still, and I'm hoping to clear that up for you right now. So first of all, what do we know? The stimulus bill that was signed into law yesterday on Thursday allows for $10,200 of unemployment benefits to be tax-free on your federal tax return. That's a huge benefit. There are 70-some million people that collected some sort of unemployment in 2020. To have $10,200 be exempt from federal taxes, that's enormous. So that's one thing we know. We also know it only applies to 2020. It applies to tax year 2020, not 21, not 22. It applies to tax year 2020. Will they also create a law for 2021 or 2022? They may, but for this one, it just applies to tax year 2020. Third thing that we know, you've got to be eligible for this. And to be eligible, your adjusted gross income needs to be below $150,000, okay? Some questions, we'll get into what we still are waiting for clarity on from the IRS, but we know you've got to be eligible, and that eligibility is your adjusted gross income needs to be below $150,000. And the fourth thing that we know, if you already filed your tax return, and you had unemployment benefits on there that were taxable, you are able to amend your tax return and remove that income from being taxable and get a refund, okay? So it's not, don't think of this as, well, I already filed my return and I paid the tax on this, so I guess I'm left out of this. No, you're allowed to amend. You've got 3 years to do so, and there's gonna be a little bit of cost to get your return amended, but it should be no problem at all. So don't feel like you're left out if you already filed your tax return and had unemployment benefits that were taxable on it. Now, what's still unknown at this point? Lots, actually. Unfortunately, a lot of biggies that are still unknown. And the very first one is, how quickly can the IRS update their system to begin allowing for this new law to actually be carried out? I mean, think about how many millions and millions of people are filing their tax returns right now, and the IRS has their entire system set up that shows that all unemployment benefits are taxable. Now they've got to update their tax system so that for those that are eligible, up to $10,200 is not taxable. Our CPAs and tax professionals here think this will take at least a couple of weeks from the IRS, hopefully sooner. We're just not sure. The IRS also needs to provide some clarification on several other things as well. That could take longer, okay? So we're not sure exactly when people can start filing tax returns with excluding this $10,200 of unemployment. We're just waiting for the IRS to provide some clarity there. We're thinking it could be a couple of weeks. Additionally, it's also unknown how long it will take for tax software to be updated. Hopefully, tax software, and the software that we use here at KFG to prepare your tax return is top of the line, top shelf software. They provide updates, tech updates each and every day. However, will they need to wait for clarity from the IRS before they can provide updates? Because there's lots of other questions as well. Or can they be updating their software concurrently? So as soon as the IRS says, all right, we're ready, go ahead, the tax software is ready to file as well. We're not sure. We're not sure. But again, we're thinking it's a couple of weeks at the earliest until the IRS is able to accept returns this way. There may also be a little bit of a delay with the tax software as well. The third unknown, will states continue to tax this unemployment? I don't know. We don't know that yet. We know Indiana is actually adding back the $300 universal charitable tax deduction, but we don't know. Each state now has to scramble to see, well, are they going to still tax this $10,200 or are they not going to tax it as well? Each state independently will have to do that, and then each state will need to update their tax systems, and then each software will need to update their system as well. You can see why this was such a challenge that it's passed in mid-March as opposed to back in November or October when we still obviously knew that this was going to be a problem. So we need clarity from the states. That's still unknown as well. And then the last thing that I'll point out that's unknown, because the list is quite long, but in order to be eligible, that adjusted gross income needs to be below $150,000. Well, does the $10,200 of unemployment that's now going to be exempt from taxes, does that count towards that 150 limit, or is it not? That's going to influence and determine whether millions of people get this benefit or don't. And the IRS needs to provide some clarity on that. There's several other questions the IRS needs to provide clarity on, whether this is going to be counted towards your adjusted gross income or not, whether that means you're then eligible. So will it count towards your modified adjusted gross income? Lots of questions that the IRS needs to clarify. So unfortunately, while we do know of the benefit, it's for 2020 only. You can amend if you've already filed. It allows up to $10,200 to be of unemployment to be not taxable, and you've got to have income of less than $150,000. Still some big questions, and we just don't know when the IRS will provide that clarity. So what do you do? Okay, the very first thing is just know, have the peace of mind, just know if you've already filed your tax return and you included, like you were supposed to at the time, include your unemployment income as taxable, just know you can amend. Just know, and you've got 3 years to do it. There's going to be a little cost to do it because there's more filing and more work that's going to be involved, but just know, obviously there's a refund that would be coming to you. So you want to get that done as soon as possible, but just know you've got 3 years to do it. You're not going to be out of any money. And so just have that peace of mind as well, and don't panic thinking that, uh-oh, I already filed my return, so I'm now out of this benefit. No, you still are eligible. You'll be able to amend. The second thing that I would tell you is if you haven't filed your tax return yet and you have unemployment income, just be patient. There is still a month yet before the tax filing deadline, and many of us wonder if this is the reason why the IRS might actually push that deadline out again. I don't know yet. They haven't determined that, but we still at least have 4 weeks left. So maybe wait a little bit to see how quickly the IRS can update their system and how quickly tax software can get updated. So wait a little bit. You can always file an extension if needed, but if your stimulus is dependent upon you filing a return, meaning your 2019 return, you were not eligible for the stimulus, but your 2020 return you are, even if you've got unemployment, I would go ahead and file that tax return, even claiming that unemployment so that you can make sure that you get the stimulus, and then just file an amendment to remove that $10,200 of unemployment. So if you've got unemployment and you haven't filed yet, I'd consider being patient unless there's a reason to still file and then just do an amendment later, okay? Work with your tax preparer, give us a call. We can talk through that with you in your individual situation. And then the last thing I tell you to do is just look for future communication, further communication from us. Right now, we're sort of in a holding period waiting for the IRS to provide some clarity. As they do, we'll reach out to you, whether it's another email or whether it's a video, something like that. You'll look to hear from us as more updates come out from the IRS. All right, well, if there's any way that we can help you, give us a call, 574-247-5898. You can also email us, info@korhorn.com if you have any questions. Otherwise, look for future communication from us. Thanks for your business and have a great weekend.